the two of you.
Bethany Ann Doak. Ian Donnelly. Kirsty Lynn Duthit.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now,
Thank you. You may be seated. That will take us to roll call. Vanessa?
Councilmember Learman.
Here.
Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Vitiello. Here. Councilmember Wade.
Here.
Vice Mayor Manfredi.
Here.
Mayor Smith.
Here.
Madam Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. That'll take us to agenda item 3.1, which reads as follows. 3.1, App 22-05, the mayor and city council shall discuss and possibly take action on selecting one citizen to fill the vacancy on the city council. This is for discussion and action. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I indicated, this is a very special night, and we're definitely glad to see the room full of people who are interested in what's happening in the city of Maricopa. As you all know, we're here to fill the vacant city council seat. This seat will serve until December 2024. I want to thank all of the applicants that are here tonight. If you're one of the applicants, when our city clerk reads your name, would you either please stand or wave at us?
Crystal Ellen O'John. James Singleton. Patrick Melvin. Joy Ann Halsinger. Bill Robertson. Sharon Walker. James Hughes. James Feifel. Raymond Nieves. Dan Frank. Tori Anderson. Eric Gettle. Leon Potter. Michelle Buchanan. Kevin Taylor. And Robert Brims.
Let's all give them a hand, please. All right, I just want to finish up with saying it's really not easy to put yourself in this position. And so we definitely applaud you for your boldness and your courage, because all of us up here understands what kind of boldness and courage that takes. And so we thank you very much for doing that and put your name forward. We need residents within our community who are willing to serve and willing to serve for the good of all. And so I really want to thank you very much for your willingness to serve as well. I want to describe what the process is going to be like tonight. So allow me to read through this just so you understand what's going to happen. First, the council members will share who their top 3 applicants are. You do not have to choose 3 council members and vice mayor, but any number 3 or less is perfectly fine. If you feel led, feel free to share why your choices were for selecting your top 3. Then second, the city clerk will tally the votes and inform us on who the top 3 candidates are. And as you can already imagine, there may be a tie. If we end up with a tie, we'll immediately figure out how we're going to handle that. In most cases, it'll probably end up to be 4 or 5 candidates that we interview instead of just the top 3, but we'll see how that comes out after we're completed voting. Each candidate in the top applications will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves, and we will be sticking to the 2-minute limit. You'll see a yellow light come on when you have 10 seconds left, and then the red light. Green light will come on first, yellow light with 10 seconds remaining, and then the red light, and you must finish immediately when the red light. We're trying to make this fair to all, and so we want you to be aware of that limitation. After the introductions, all candidates will follow Andy to a meeting room. We'll be interviewing each candidate individually here in the chambers without all the candidates present. We won't be taking your electronic devices. However, we are insisting that you not use your electronic devices for obvious reasons. So Andy will be in the room, and he'll be putting the pressure on you not to be using those. But he's a really nice guy, so no problem. You'll be asked to wait in the conference room until it's your turn to be interviewed, and we'll provide the first round of interview questions. And then after that, we'll vote on two, and reduce the number down to 2 candidates, and so on. And so there may be 2 rounds of questions, there may be 3 rounds of questions, we'll just see how this goes. At any point, a council member or the vice mayor may ask to go into e-session with questions. So given that, let's move forward, and we'll start with who our top 3 candidates were from the applications. Vanessa, are you going to ask in the order that? Yes.
Let's see. Councilmember Learman.
I would like to reiterate what Mayor Smith said about thanking each of you for applying for this position. I felt honored to read your applications, I really did, and this was an extremely difficult decision to make. I truly hope that all of you, many of you, will plan on running for this seat in 2024. All of you. The reason I picked these 3 people is based on their knowledge of the city of Maricopa and their passion to serve. The 3 candidates that I chose are Eric Gettle, Ray Nieves, and James Dingleton.
Councilmember Marsh.
Yes, first I want to thank all the candidates who filed applications to join City Council. You're all awesome, and each one of you would add significantly to our work over the coming 2 years. The 3 candidates that really stood out a cut above the others for me were Bill Robertson, Dan Frank, and Eric Kettle.
Councilmember Vitiello.
I have to tell you, I'd rather run for office than have to sit here and go through this, to be honest. As everybody's going to state, and I am going to state also, thank you. It's not an easy task. I love what I do, and I know whoever ends up being the 6th council member will love what they do, and the city will appreciate what you do, and will appreciate what you've done to get here. This was a very tough decision. There's no order here how I'm picking these. I'm just trying to go for my 3 best that I feel. Tori Anderson, Dan Frank, and Ray Nieves.
Councilmember Wade.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. This is harder than putting the signs up out in the yard
In the summer.
in the summertime. I also agree that it takes some mettle to step up and decide that you're going to do something in a public way for the community that you live in. It shows a lot of concern for the community, a lot of love for the community, which is why we do what we do. And to join this family, if you will, we had some great candidates to choose from. It was very difficult. But I chose Patrick Melvin, Tori Anderson, James Hughes.
Vice Mayor Manfredi.
Ditto to what everybody else said. I was surprised I didn't see some of these people standing out on the 347 waving, no. I was waiting. I didn't see anybody do it. You would have got my vote, actually.
Probably mine too.
This is the hardest thing I can imagine, is putting yourself forward. You know, when you run for office, it's one thing. You have a lot of time to get in front of the public and ask for votes. dare you say, beg for votes of the people, talk about yourself, put yourself out there. This is an application process where we get all these applications in here and we read them and we base them off a piece of paper. So it's a lot harder, I believe, than running. And I hope, and like Amber said, I hope to see some of you, if not all of you, running in 2024, because it just gives the people of Maricopa the benefit of learning more about you and having options. We have very little options in this last election. So it's good to have options and have a lot of people out there. So with me, I put this down and it's off of paper. It's what people put down there. So for me, the choices in no particular order is Ray, Bill, and John Singleton.
James?
James. Why'd I say John? I'm sorry. Apologies. I had J in front of it instead of, sorry.
Mayor Smith.
Thank you. Just reiterating again, but I think it's important that I was impressed in the 19 applications on the diversity of those that applied. And that's what we need in this community, is the diversity. So I too would love to see all 19 applicants actually do some of the work, well, all of the work that it takes to get 400 to 500 signatures to convince people to sign your petition. That means that they support what you stand for and what you do. And if we end up with a slate in 2014 of 15 to 20 candidates, kudos to the city of Maricopa, and that it's a very diverse set of candidates. It's marvelous. And so I was very impressed with the order of the number of candidates and the diversity in the group. I made my decision primarily on, I think one of the biggest issues is understanding what the issues are in the city of Maricopa. And if you understand what the issues are, I had actually 5 elements that I used to, and you could only list 3 issues, but in some cases, some people earned 5 points because of the fact that they named all 5 in the 3 issues that they named. And so I went heavily on understanding the issues within City of Maricopa, because that says to me that for the most part, in regards to the issues, they're ready to get up and run. And that was where I placed my vote the heaviest. So my 3 include, in no particular order, Bill Robertson, Eric Gettle, and James Singleton. At this point, we're waiting for the city clerk to tally who the top 3 are, or if there's a tie, who's included in that group.
Mayor Smith, we have 4 with 3 votes. James Singleton, Bill Robertson, Raymond Nieves, and Eric Gettle.
Mayor, I'd like to ask that we go up to executive session for a couple of minutes to discuss the next round.
All in favor of dismissing and, I'm sorry, oh, I do need a second, yes. Second, okay. All in favor of going to e-session?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll be right back. Pardon me? Yes.
Councilmember Marsh?
Do you have the numbers? Councilmember Marsh, are you on the phone again?
Hello. I'm on.
Can you hear us okay?
Yep.
All right. We are now back in special session for City Council, and we're going to ask each of the four candidates to introduce themselves for 2 minutes. And we're going to ask you all four to come forward and pick a number off of the city clerk's desk, and that's the order that we will take you. So come forward, all four of the candidates. Applicants. You guys are picking on my words. I know. Okay, who's number one? All right, Ray Nevis, come forward and give us 2 minutes. Remember to look for the yellow light and the red light. Well, as soon as I get it going. Oh, there we go.
All right, hi. My name is Ray Nieves. I'm a Maricopa native. I've been here for 34 years, third generation Maricopa native. I'm a local business owner as well. Myself, my family, all my mom, my grandparents, everybody still lives here. So I'm very invested in the community. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to go ahead and put my name in the hat for this open council position. I feel like I could be a very useful person just because of my background, my history, my involvement with the city. I'm also Hispanic, I'm younger, so we can go ahead and reach a different demographic than what we're currently reaching. I mean, everybody can go ahead and attest to the voting numbers that we had last month. They weren't what everybody wanted to go ahead and see. I would love to go ahead and get some more involvement in the community, reach some more people, help make a difference for the future of Maricopa, for my family, for myself, for my kids. I want them to say that they grew up somewhere that they're proud to be from Maricopa the way I am.
Thank you. And thanks for the extra time, Ray. All right, Bill Robertson. Is the mic on? Okay. All right.
For 46 years as of next week. Together we have raised 3 successful young men that we're very proud of. Currently I'm serving on the Planning and Zoning Commission, for which I intended to finish out my term and run for City Council in 2024, but as it turns out, some 6'4" man with a size 14 shoe decided to change everybody's plan by moving to newer pastures. I want to thank all the other candidates here for participating in this wonderful process, and I'm honored and humbled to be here with them in their company. Regardless of the outcome, we will all learn and we'll all expand our horizons somewhat. The issues faced in the community are well known. I've been staying in touch on top of them for about the last 7 years, contributing where I can and when I can to the process. So I'm humbled and excited to participate in the process. I think you put together a very, very fair process in a very short period of time, and it was great to shake hands and meet the other candidates here tonight. I thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to the process.
Thank you. James Singleton.
Hello, my name is James Singleton. I just want to, thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. I know I'm probably one of the youngest candidates by a lot, but I think that kind of brings a different dimension to the city council. Since moving here, I've kind of hit the ground running, getting involved. I know some of you have seen me posting in Facebook groups and just, making sure that I'm educated along with our fellow citizens here in Maricopa, especially with now my girlfriend being the head swim coach at Maricopa High School. I'm getting more involved even with the academics here and sports. And, that's just been fun for me. And this is kind of the first city I've been able to kind of call my own, plant roots and stuff like that. And, this opportunity came about even though I wanted planning and zoning initially. It's kind of full right now, and this just came up, and I was like, what better way to actually get involved with the community, make decisions that impact not only myself, but the rest of the citizens in Maricopa. But yeah, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Eric Gettle.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, thank you. I am honestly humbled to be considered for the seat. A few things you need to know about me. I am deeply, deeply devoted to this community. My wife and I, we moved here in 2004 with the idea and goal that we will set deep roots into this community. And since then, we have been deeply involved in building this wonderful community. We love Maricopa. We've given our blood, sweat, and tears into building this community, and we're very, very proud to have an opportunity to potentially represent more of our citizenry. I'm a husband, a father of 5 wonderful kids. My various roles in the community have been maybe along the ecclesiastical lines for our religion, our church, but that has allowed me to make a broad fellowship of individuals to be able to reach across in diverse populations, from age demographics to ethnics to everything that's possible here in our city. I am prepared to serve. I have served on councils literally since the age of 12, learning the council process, learning how to build consensus, learning how to talk about the issues, learning policy and the importance of following sound policy and being able to equally apply that across all situations and all demographics. I feel that I can fairly represent the city of Maricopa. We have a lot of friends, we have a lot of relationships here, and I think I can come to the board, to the council with those people in mind and be the voice that they need to have here on our city council. So again, I'm thankful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for your votes initially, and we hope that as the evening progresses that we can show you who we are. So thank you very much.
Very good, thank you. All right, at this point, we're going to ask applicant number 2, 3, and 4 to follow Andy out to the conference room. This is Andy back here in the maroon shirt, ASU, go Forkham Devils. And we are going to ask Ray Nevis to come forward for your interview questions, first round.
Councilmember Learman.
Ray, if selected, what board, commission, or committees would you like to be a liaison to?
If I'm selected, I would love to go ahead and be placed anywhere you guys would go ahead and be able to go ahead and use me. I have a lot of connections in the community. I have a lot of friends as well. So I know that I'd be able to be very useful anywhere for you guys and the public. I mean, we're here not only to serve the council, but we're here to serve the public. So anywhere that there's a need, I'm willing to go ahead and fill, just as I'm coming here to try to fill the need of a vacant seat.
Thank you.
Councilmember Marsh?
Hi, Ray.
Hi.
What is the most important project or result you'd like to accomplish in your next 2 years as a council member?
The most important thing to me right now that I see is what people would refer to as traffic, right? A lot of folks are going to go ahead and say that the highway in and out of Maricopa is the issue. I think that the bigger issue is the roadways and causeways in and around Maricopa. So one of the biggest things that I want to go ahead and do is work with people at the county level, state level, federal level, to go ahead and work on the roadways and the causeways here, perhaps another alternative route in and out of Maricopa.
Thank you.
Councilmember Vitiello?
First of all, Ray, congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you.
Did you sleep last night?
No.
Okay. So as a council member, Ray, there are 3 positions that we are involved with in the hiring, and I hate to say the firing, but these 3 positions are the only 3 that we say the city manager takes care of all the other hiring. Speak about the other word. But so can you name the 3 positions that city council is involved with for the hiring?
I cannot. I can honestly say I cannot name those 3 positions.
Councilmember Wade?
Hey, Ray, yes, again, congratulations on the new baby.
Thank you.
Enjoy those hugs.
Thank you.
What do you believe your role to be as a city council member?
I think our role as a city council member is going to be able to go ahead and take what we would call our citizens and be their voice on this council. We are presented with lots of decisions and choices that we have to go ahead and make that are going to go ahead and affect the future of the city, and we have to go ahead and take into consideration the people that we're serving and be their voice, because there's only 6 of us up here with the mayor. And so I feel like the most important thing that we do is representing our people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Manfredi?
Ray, thanks for putting your name in, and congratulations on the baby. It was yesterday you had a baby?
Yeah, I came here from the hospital.
Congratulations. Well, you know that if you don't get selected as a council member, you got a better gift than any of us did today.
Yeah, I still have a job to go back
Yeah.
to.
If selected as a new council member to the city of Maricopa, what is your #1 priority?
I kind of touched on that already with the roadways, causeways, and the traffic, but business and economic development is really important to me. I mean, like I said, I'm a local business owner, and I see the struggles and the trials and tribulations that other small businesses in here partake in. And so that's another very important thing, is economic development, helping generate more ways for these businesses to be successful, for these businesses to have storefronts, things like that. So economic development would be something that I would like to focus on as well, both in the small business and big business, you know. But small business really needs our help too. A lot of people seem to forget those small guys that keep our communities running and sponsor the Little League teams and keep everything chugging along. And so that's another very, very important piece in my book.
Thank you.
Mayor Smith.
Had to find the right sheet of paper. So Ray, basically, if I listen and want to hear, which I do, the residents' concerns for a significant amount of single-family home developments and apartment developments, many are asking for a moratorium. Do you think Maricopa needs a moratorium on new single-family homes and apartment developments?
I feel like what Maricopa needs to go and do, what we need to do as a city, and I know it's not our area, but the planning and zoning areas, no is the easy answer there. No is the easy answer. We don't want to go ahead and limit our city. We don't want to go ahead and inhibit our city or anything like that. Without places to live, there's no people that are going to go ahead and come here. So no is the easy answer for that question.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Would you, Ray, when you head to the conference room, would you please invite back Bill Robertson? Oh, there we go. Thank you.
What I get for being
Welcome, Bill Robertson.
Hi again.
Just so you know, we are asking one question each, and they are the same questions asked of each candidate, or each applicant.
Very
So,
good.
yep, we'll start with Councilmember Lehrman.
Bill,
Hi.
if selected, what board, commission, or committees would you like to be a liaison to?
Well, understanding the issues of, proud history and prosperous future with our growth, I'm already on planning and zoning, so I got a real good feel for that. But that and transportation issues obviously take front row for anybody that's been, paying attention. So those two, whether there's a opportunity for promoting the city on the growth side, reaching out to transportation groups as a stakeholder and as a representative of the city, to transportation and or industry in terms of bringing the proper growth to the community.
Thank you.
Councilmember Marsh.
Hey, Bill. What is the most important project or result would you like to accomplish in your next 2 years as a council member?
Again, we have to keep our foot on the pedal in some of the direction that you all have already established. The direction that the city manager and the mayor and the council have already taken us, the direction we're headed, the trajectory is very prosperous but challenging. So I would say, again, I hate to keep going back to transportation and growth issues, but we do have annexation issues now facing us. What I see as mega annexation coming at us that may slow down at some point. But over the next 2 years, I think for sure, continue to build those relationships with the folks that are looking at our city, that are now gazing down our pipeline. So building those relationships and reaching out to them and making sure they understand the issues that they would face coming here with transportation. And water would be the third one. I think we have water issues. We keep saying that we're okay on the water issues, but as other people start tapping into our water for agriculture and other means, the aquifer is going to be depleted a little bit. So I think the active management that we're in now has to continue and probably be expanded upon, and the city should probably start looking at more long-range planning for our own water security.
Councilmember Vitiello.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Rich.
So, Bill, as you know, as a city council member, there's only 3 positions that we are part of the hiring and, unfortunately, of firing. Rick does the rest. What are those 3 positions?
The 3 positions that you directly hire would be the city manager, the city attorney, and the third one I don't know.
Thank you.
Councilmember Wade.
Mayor. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing well, Henry. Thank you.
What do you believe your role to be as a council member?
My role is to be the conduit to the community back to the city. We are elected officials. We have constituents. Unlike planning and zoning doesn't have constituents. On planning and zoning, we have to go by the rules, by the regulations, by the codes. So it's a little bit different as a city council member. Now people have your ear. And we need to be able to listen to all levels, to all cultures, and be inclusive and diverse in that listening. And bring that message back to the group to determine whether the message that's coming forward is a valid one that requires action. So I believe that the most important thing is communication and reaching the constituents of the community.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Manfredi.
Bill, thanks for putting yourself out here. It's a congratulations being in the top 4. My question was, if selected as a new council member, what is your #1 priority?
Kind of a spin of the same question, but the #1 priority, again, is going to be good, open, transparent, and honest and ethical communication to our constituents. They drive what we do, and then we drive what the city does through policy and legislation. So we have to be responsive to the community's needs, and drive the policy for the oversight of operation of the city.
Mayor Smith.
Hi, Bill.
Good morning.
So, as a city council member, now a mayor, I love listening to residents and what their concerns are. Many that I talk to talk about the city putting a moratorium on the building of single-family homes and apartments. Do you think Maricopa needs a moratorium on new single-family home and apartment developments?
Great question. I often receive that question as a P&Z commissioner. Without legal standing, it's pretty hard to deny property rights as long as they meet the code, they fit within the laws that are upon us. So it becomes difficult to arbitrarily say a moratorium. I have actually researched communities that have done it, and Gilbert successfully did a moratorium maybe 10 years ago. It was short-lived, but it had some standing due to they just weren't ready. Gilbert was it Gilbert or Queen Creek? Anyway, I did some research, and because I get that question. So it's just not with legal standing to arbitrarily have a moratorium. There are property rights, and occasionally we do change zoning to meet the needs of the project. Sometimes we get controversy, we get some kickback from that kickback's a bad word. We get some pushback that we shouldn't be changing zoning to meet the project, but sometimes that has to occur. But most of the time, moratoriums are without legal standing, and we would probably lose that battle if we were faced with it.
Thank you. And thank you, Bill. That concludes round one for you.
Thank you very much.
James Singleton is next. Hi, James. Welcome. You're
Hello.
in round one of interview questions. You'll receive one question from each councilmember, vice mayor, and mayor, and you will be given the same questions as the previous applicants.
Perfect.
We'll start with Councilmember Learman.
Hello.
If selected, what board, commission, or committees would you like to be a liaison to?
First and foremost, transportation. Getting that figured out is probably our biggest hurdle here. And then I would actually like to be part of META if possible, because I think a lot of tech companies could open up here, and especially with Lucid down the street in Casa Grande, I think we would be a kind of hub for a chip manufacturer or battery manufacturer, and so those would be, the two kind of that I would want to be on.
Thank you.
Councilmember Marsh?
Councilmember Marsh?
Yes, sorry, I was on mute. Hey, James, what is the most important project or result you'd like to accomplish in your next 2 years as a council member?
Probably getting the loop around the city of Maricopa would probably be one of my biggest, projects that I would like to get done here. Taking that traffic off of 347 coming in here, especially with the water park that is going to be built on the north side of 238. That would be an important route for those coming just for the water park, and being able to alleviate John Wayne Parkway through the heart of the city would be a huge win for us.
Councilmember Vitiello?
Hey, James, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, as you may know, as a city council member, there are only 3 positions in the city that we hire, and I hate using the word fire. What are those 3?
Hire in terms of from city council or the city?
City council members, the only 3 that we hire and fire.
The only one that I know of is the planning and zoning. It's the only one that I know.
Thank you.
Councilmember Wade?
Great job, James.
Thank you.
What do you believe your role is as a city council member?
My role would be basically to make sure that the success of the citizens of Maricopa are put first and foremost before anything, whether it's financial gains here in the city, but if it could potentially impact our citizens, that should come first, because we're not successful unless they're successful. So that's my answer.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Manfredi?
Congratulations on being in the top 4 there. And it sounds like the same question, but it's a little different. If selected, not elected, if selected as a new council member, what is your number 1 priority on day 1?
My number 1 priority would basically be just diving in and seeing where we are at as a city, because I'd be coming in pretty freshly new, and just, figuring out, Mayor Smith's 100-day plan, how can we get that moving forward, and then just figuring out how to carry it out from there.
Thank you.
Mayor Smith?
Hi, James.
Hello.
So as city council member and as mayor now, I really enjoy hearing from residents and what their concerns are, what they feel like their needs are. One thing that I hear on a regular basis and on Facebook is the need for a moratorium to put on the development of single-family homes and apartments. Do you think Maricopa needs a moratorium on new single-family homes and apartment developments?
Short answer, no. If we want to have all the businesses that people also want, single-family homes, multifamily homes are needed, right? People aren't going to be buying or renting and driving up to Phoenix. They're going to save more gas just, living up there and renting. So I think it would be a detriment to Maricopa to do that, because as we build out here, businesses see, okay, hey, I have a staff here, and I can potentially open up a business, and that would help us out.
Thank you. And that concludes round one for you for the questions and answers. And
thank you.
Well, return to the conference room. And Eric Gettle is next. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mayor.
So we are asking one question each from the council, vice mayor, and mayor, and they are all the same questions for each applicant and in the same order. And we will start with Councilmember Lehrman. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
If selected, what board, commission, or committees would you like to be a liaison to?
Wonderful question. I have taken an interest in our emergency management, and I know there's not necessarily a liaison there yet, but the new Office of Emergency Management would be a wonderful fit for me. I've been a volunteer for the CERT program since its inception here in Maricopa and Pinal County, so since 2013. FEMA trained. I have an opportunity in my church responsibilities to develop several emergency plans that involve the community and our church sites as distribution centers and shelters and et cetera. So having that opportunity to serve there would be great. Another interest of mine is the budget, being able to keep control of our spending, looking for ways to reduce the amount of money that we spend as a city. At the same time, looking for ways to reduce our citizens' taxes, and sales tax, and broadening that tax base out would be very important. So being able to serve on that committee, I think, would be very helpful as well. I have a lot of love for the youth and the younger generation, and so being able to work, I know Councilmember Wade, you've done amazing work with our youth council, and are very interested in raising or at least mentoring that rising generation. And having an opportunity to serve in the community in that capacity, I think, would be very helpful for me too. So thank you for the question.
Councilmember Marsh.
Hey, Eric. What is the most important project or result would you like to accomplish in your next 2 years as a council member?
Boy, if I had a magic wand, Councilmember Marsh, I would love to waive that and fix that 347 issue. But that's going to be more than a two-year issue. But there is a lot of work that we can work on as we continue to build relationships with the interested parties. We have, the nations. We have the Pinal County, the state. There's a lot of players in that issue, and so working on that 347 transportation issue is a big one. But I think in the next 2 years, I think just building a legacy of being able to listen to the individuals, the citizens of this community. There's a little bit of friction. We have tremendous amounts of growth, and growth is so important for our city, don't get me wrong. But being able to grow strategically and smartly, and being able to plan for the whole diversity of housing issue that we need, that life cycle of housing. Economic development is another huge issue that we need to really focus in on. So in the next 2 years, I'd like to maybe sink my teeth into some of those issues and bring the work forward on that. Thank you, Councilmember Marsh.
Thank you, Eric.
Councilmember Vitiello.
Eric, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So as a city council member, there are 3 positions that we are part of hiring and firing. What are those 3?
Very good. So we have a lot to say of our city manager. He works for us, and He is an amazing man. I've known Rick now for a little while, and seeing what he's done with our city is fabulous. As also, we are in charge of not just the city manager, but we have other staff. We have city clerk, which I believe is hired by our city manager. The other positions...
Eric, it's us, the city council members, not what Rick hires. We hire and fire three.
Oh, thank you, yeah. So we hire the city manager, and honestly, I don't know what the other two would be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Eric, for making it into round one, on to round two.
Thank you, Councilmember Wade.
What do you believe your role is as a council member?
That's a really important question. That's why we're here tonight. A council member is an individual who represents the constituents of our city. We have the responsibility to be wise stewards of those responsibilities, our tax monies, being able to build a safe community. We represent the people. And as sitting on that council seat, we have to find that balance between what the city can do versus what the needs are in the individuals in the community. So we have a responsibility to listen and to be able to be informed on what the issues are, the pressure points that some of our families face. We have a responsibility as council members to provide for a safe community. Public safety is huge. We need to make sure that we have safe communities, supporting our law enforcement, our fire. In all ways, it would be a great thing. And I just saw my time reset, so
Sorry about that.
I will wrap it up. I think I have about 10 seconds
That was
left.
fair, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Smith.
A lot of responsibility up here.
A bunch of buttons.
Vice Mayor Manfredi.
My thing was off there. If we select you as a new council member, what is your number one priority? And before you answer, congratulations on being in the top 4 there.
Well, thank you very much,
I didn't
Vice
say
Mayor.
that first. So if selected as a new council member, what's your number one priority on day one?
Number one priority, day one, would be to represent the individuals of our city. That's our job. So on day one, we'll be sworn in on the 20th. And I will be sitting there in that seat ready to go, having reviewed the agenda, reviewed what is before us to make decisions on. I look forward to working with staff. There's not a single person that has all of the answers, and we are so blessed to have an amazing staff that can help us to understand what the coding is, what the issues are, what the possible solutions are. And so working with them hand in hand would be wonderful. So yeah, being able to sit and on that council seat, be able to run with those and make some really important decisions for our city. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Smith.
Hi, Eric. So as city council member and now mayor, I really enjoy listening to residents, business owners regarding their concerns, their issues, their needs. One thing that I hear often, and I also read a lot on Facebook, is a lot of citizens talking about the city needing a moratorium on the building of single-family homes and apartment complexes. Do you think that the city of Maricopa needs a moratorium on new single-family homes and apartment developments?
Short answer is no, absolutely not. We do need to be smart and strategic in our growth, but a city that's not growing is stagnant, and there's some issues that come with that. So we do have to plan for a life cycle, having a diverse housing. We have so many individuals that want to be a part of what we're building here in Maricopa. It's just unattainable. Housing is so expensive. So we do need that diversity of housing to allow other families to come and to join it with us in building this great community. And without that, we don't grow. We don't develop into what we need to become. So strategic growth is my answer to that question. Being able to plan carefully, looking for that whole diversity of housing issue that we need to have. Many options. More options, the better. We've created a wonderful community, and it's important for us to be able to share that. It's been a blessing for my family to be here. We want others to come and to enjoy what we've built here, and not just to come and enjoy, but to come and to build, to be able to be here and to help move the work forward and be invested in our community. So having housing that would fit their life cycle, very, very important. Thank you for the question.
Very good, thank you. And you've now completed round one.
Thank you very much.
Very much. You may return back to the conference room. Councilmember, what is your wish? Do we move forward with the vote of 2, or do you need any executive session time? Right now? At this point, it's vote for 2 or go up.
Vote for 2.
All right. All right, we're moving on to voting for our top 2. And they've all entered back in? Yep, okay, perfect.
Councilmember Learman.
Hard. Vice Mayor just said this is really hard. I want to thank each of you for participating in the interview process. I am going to vote for Eric Gettle and Ray Nieves.
Councilmember Marsh.
I'm going to vote for Bill Robertson and Eric Gettle.
Councilmember Vitiello.
You said that already.
I know.
You're using the same stuff.
I'm sorry, but this is a very difficult decision because you guys have all put a lot of hard work into this. No particular order. I have to go with Bill Robinson and Eric Gettle.
Councilmember Wade.
One should never underestimate the power of support. Lack of the support when it's not there. I think that all of the people that presented themselves tonight are supporters and want to be a part of what we've been trying to do. If you can see yourself sitting in a seat over there with this family and believe that it's important to contribute, up wanted sign is open. Me, for right now, in no particular order, I go with Eric Gettle and Bill Robinson.
Vice Mayor Manfredi.
Kind of wish you could just say pass, right? Now you know what people deal with when they go into the voting booth and have to vote for us, right? It's like, who do I choose? And it's the hardest part. And we only get this little bit of time to visit with you guys. And in no order, of course, you know, just hearing some of the answers and some of the information people gave here. I'm gonna pick Ray as 1 and Bill.
Mayor Smith.
Thank you very much. I am going to go with Eric Gettle and Bill Robertson.
So the top 2 are Bill Robertson and Eric Gettle.
Thank you very much. So at this time, council, is there a need for e-session, or do we move to round 2 of questions?
Round 2.
Everyone feels comfortable with moving to round 2 of questions. All right, so if our 2 candidates would, well, actually, who's first? Bill Robertson, you're first. And if Eric Gettle would return to the conference room, that would be great.
Hello again.
Hello, Bill. So this is round 2 of questions. Same thing. Each council member will ask you 1 question. It'll be the same for both candidates in the same order. And we'll begin again with Councilmember Amber Learman.
Hi, Bill. Okay. Preparation is critically important to be an effective council member. What did you do to prepare for tonight's meeting?
Well, I've actually been preparing for several years. When the opportunity came to throw my hat in the ring for planning and zoning. That spent a lot of time on the history of our planning and zoning, the history of the county planning and zoning, how the transition took place when we became a city and we incorporated. Same thing I did with understanding our police department. I got to speak with our first police chief, Melvin, today, the first time I met him, and it was interesting to learn the history of our police department and our first police chief. So the history, I guess, was the biggest thing I did. Understand the history of council, understand the history of where we were, what our history was, and where we're going forward. I also did some history. I've been attending virtually other city council meetings, Gilbert, Queen Creek, and Casa Grande in particular, watching their city council meetings online and understanding how they conduct business and compared it to y'all. And hands down, you guys get the nod on the way. Oh, Goodyear was the other city also. So I picked comparative cities and started watching how they conduct their business, their transparency being the big thing, their transparency with the community and how they conduct business. So my preparation was seeing how the sausage is made.
Thank you.
Councilmember Marsh?
As a council member, Bill, what one thing would you like to change about the city of Maricopa?
Oh boy. Change is coming at us. I don't know that we have to go look for it. Change is coming at us. Growth is coming at us. I like the way business is conducted. The forward thinking is very impressive. I have mentioned it to Mayor and Vice Mayor that I also watch the Pinal County Board of Supervisors online and go to their meetings occasionally. And one thing that they do at their council meetings is they ask the public if they have something on a consent agenda. I think consent agendas have their place, but it does concern me sometimes that they can be overused. And I've mentioned that a few times, that let's be transparent. If we're spending big money and we're hiring department heads, this shouldn't be a consent agenda item. So maybe there's a little bit of housekeeping along those lines. But in the way we conduct business, I don't see any changes. I see change coming to us, and it'll be up to us to evaluate that change, see if it fits in with our general plan, see if it fits in with our philosophy as a governing agency.
Thank you, Bill.
Councilmember Vitiello?
Congratulations, Bill. The City Council must work together as a cohesive unit for the betterment of its residents and its businesses. What is your approach to resolve conflict and differences of opinion?
Differences of opinion are good. It makes us step back and maybe question our own opinion or make us double check our position, our standing. I'm never afraid to ask the hard question, and I'm also never afraid of the hard answer. The answer may go contrary to my belief, but once the vote is set, then that's the agenda of the council. So I don't see any real challenge for anybody that currently sits on the council of being able to openly discuss your differences. And so it comes back to communication and transparency, ethics, and honesty.
Thank you, Bill.
Councilmember Wade?
Great segue into my question there, Bill. City Council has adopted a code of ethics, including the expectations to sign an acknowledgement statement upon being sworn into office. As a member of council, what do you feel is your personal responsibility in upholding the code of ethics, and how will you set an example for fellow council members?
Great question. The way we project ourselves and we look in the public eye not only affects us in the voting booth, it affects us when we need community support with tough issues and with them understanding. So our ethics must be grounded in honesty. We may not agree, but we must be honest and transparent. Ethics can be challenged and should be challenged. We should not be afraid to talk to each other about a potential ethics problem and bring it forward and say, we better talk about this. Let's be open and honest with all communications, and that will lead to good ethics.
Thank you very much.
Vice Mayor Manfredi.
We all know how important this process is. Right? We're selecting someone that's going to sit up here for the next 2 years with us and make decisions that are very important to the city of Maricopa. The next 2 years are going to be a crazy time, a lot of growth, a lot of things happening. With that in mind, if you did or do have a desire to be on city council and be a city council member, why didn't you run for a seat in the election that was just held last month?
My position on planning and zoning came pretty quickly, sooner than I had thought. My plan had always been to seek engagement with the city at any level that was available to me. Most of the time it was strictly by coming up here and speaking to you as a member of the community, or engaging in some ideas or some forward thinking. But we must be able to do the job. So I was on planning and zoning prior to this, and I had planned on running in 2024. Been discussing it and thinking about it. This opportunity got plopped in our lap, and I thought it was a good opportunity. A little bit of a shortcut. You don't have to get out there and campaign, but I'm actually looking forward to a campaign in 2024. I do want to do it in 2024, and I would have done it if this position had not arisen. But mostly my position on planning and zoning kept me from running this past election.
Thank you.
Was fully engaged.
Mayor Smith.
Thank you. Bill, as I indicated in my prior question, I do enjoy listening to our residents, and many in Tortosa are dying for restaurants, dying for a grocery store, dying for a gas station. What would be your role as a city council member to bring those elements to them?
Let's talk to the investors. Let's talk to the developers. We have a great we have a great position right now with Christian Price going over to META, and the relationship that we have with him personally as well as with META and the Chamber of Commerce. It looks like relationships are improving with the Chamber of Commerce and the council and the city. There were some tough times a few years ago. So it's important to get those three agencies working in lockstep to promote this city, to advertise this city, and bring the people in, which I know that you all do. I know you work on it. And I often have some conversations with folks from Tortosa. You got lots of land around Tortosa. It's going to happen when the investors are ready. It's the chicken or the egg. What comes first, population or amenities? What comes first, population or restaurants? So I think that the communication, again, without good, honest communication and bringing the facts forward to these developers, they do come to us, but I know that you all attend conferences, national conferences of developers and commercial people, and promote this city. I would love to be part of that. I'd love to go out there and march lockstep to promote this city. And we will get those things in the East Maricopa area when they're ready, and with a little bit of nudging with us and showing off and showcasing this awesome community.
Thank you. So that completes your round two. Thank you for your answers, and we'll...
Thank you.
We will ask you to return to the conference room. Yeah. Hi, Eric. Round two.
Round two.
Yeah, same process. You will be asked one question by City Council member, Vice Mayor, Mayor, and they will be asked in the same order, and you have 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you, Mayor.
Start with Councilmember Lehrman.
Preparation is critically important to be an effective council member. What did you do to prepare for tonight's meeting?
Oh, thank you, Amber, or excuse me, Councilmember Learman. Having the opportunity to serve it's a blessing, it's a privilege, and so being able to do it well is what I really want to be able to do. So when I found that the seat would be open, I immediately made contact with each of you, and as you know, we sat, we visited, we talked. I interviewed you as you had a chance maybe to get to know me. I have a journal of those notes that we took that day of some things that are very, very important to you and important to our city. That was not necessarily the beginning of my preparation, but that was a really important step in being able to understand fully what it takes to be behind this dais, being able to understand the pressures and the responsibility of leading cities and leading them well. So I thank you all for that opportunity to be able to sit and visit with you. In addition to that, I've spent my life in preparation, honestly, and I don't mean to sound a little bit over the top, but I've had many, many opportunities to serve in various capacities in councils and learning how that process works, how to build consensus, like I said in my introduction, being able to recognize what sound policy is and make unemotional, sound decisions based on those policies. That's what our job is. And so being able to function well on that council, my preparation included being involved in the community and developing relationships. I've heard many of you mention how important it is to have relationships. If we want to move our issues forward, if we want to build that 347, if we want to solve some of the concerns we have here in our city, that takes relationships. We don't have all of the answers, and so being able to have those relationships and those resources are key. And so that's something that I also feel I excel at. I have built a lot of friendships and relationships over the years that we've been here. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Councilmember Marsh?
Congratulations, Eric.
Thank you, council member.
As a council member, what one thing would you like to change about the city of Maricopa?
One thing I'd like to change about the city of Maricopa, you're giving me that magic wand again, council member. I love it. Again, I think that transportation issue is huge, being able to change that. It would be a wonderful thing to be able to move in and out of our city a little bit more efficiently. That's a big thing to solve, but if I had my wish, that would be one thing. So thank you for the question, council member.
Councilmember Vitiello?
I want the pages out of that book of when we spoke.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Congratulations, Ian.
Thank you.
The city council must work together as a cohesive unit for the betterment of the residents and businesses. What is your approach to resolve conflicts and differences of opinions?
It's real simple. You just have to listen. You have to listen to both sides, all sides. You have to see individuals and individuals. You can't see individuals as problems. That's not how this works. So being able to honestly listen and study the issue, try to understand where the friction points are, it's a key in being able to govern well. You know, Councilmember, you mentioned how difficult this decision is here tonight. And just to set your mind at ease, you have a difficult job ahead of you in deciding who is going to replace, that's the wrong word, right, Mayor Smith? We're not replacing you, but we're filling that vacant seat. But rest assured that you have some amazing candidates here. And whether it's Bill or myself, we will do everything we can to govern well. And so I appreciate this opportunity to answer your question. Thank you.
Councilmember Wade?
Thank you. Congratulations, Eric.
Thanks again, Councilmember.
City Council has adopted a code of ethics, including the expectation to sign an acknowledgement statement upon being sworn into office. As a member of the council, what do you feel is your personal responsibility in upholding the ethics code? And how will you set an example for your fellow council members?
Thank you, Councilmember Wade. I believe that being transparent and accountable, ethical, is so key. That is who I am. I've strived very hardly, I'm sorry, let me stumble over my words. I've strived all of my life to live a principled life. No one is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but recognizing those mistakes quickly and then repairing those mistakes to the best of our abilities, that's why we're here. That's what we do. So ethically, yes, I will never use my position for personal gain. That's not who I am going to represent. If I have that opportunity to sit in that chair, my job is to represent the citizens of the city, not myself, not my special interests, not the people who I am the best friends with. It's not a quid pro quo up here. It is about doing the right thing for our community. And so I will gladly sign that code of ethics and keep it. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Manfredi?
Eric, thanks so much for for putting your name in there, and congratulations being selected as a top two. This is a hard job. We sit up here, we make very hard decisions. Obviously, this is one of them. And we all had a desire to be here. We prepared for it, we did our things. If you do have a desire to be a city council member, why didn't you run for the seat in the election that just happened a month ago?
That would have meant I would have had to run against three of you. And in all honesty, I have been absolutely tickled pink at how well this council has worked. That has a lot to say about our former mayor, but it has a lot to say about you, individuals sitting behind this dais. You're great leaders. I didn't see a need for replacement, honestly. It's a process. As you know, even though we had our primaries here just last August, it's a process to run for council. A year ago, I wasn't there yet. It wasn't the right time. My family and I, we were in different positions, different places, and, professionally and in our service in our community. Didn't have the time, but things have changed. Lots change in 6 months. And having the opportunity now with this open seat, I would love to be able to do that and fill that position without having to kick one of you off. So it would be a great opportunity. Thank you for the question, Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor Smith?
Hi, Eric.
Mayor?
So as I indicated earlier, as city council member, mayor, I enjoy talking with people. And one of the things I also hear often is our residents in Tortosa. They're dying for restaurants, they're dying for a gas station, they're dying for any services at all. Yeah. As a city council member, what is your role on helping them acquire those elements?
That's beautiful. I've mentioned here several times tonight, and thank you for the question, Mayor. I've mentioned here several times tonight that growth is important to our city, and that strategic growth is part of that. Having a defined vision of where our city is heading, our 2040 vision plan, being able to build those community centers, our village centers, is critical, I think, for the quality of life that we're trying to achieve here in Maricopa. So, we don't want our Tortosa residents to feel like, red-headed stepchildren, that they're on the bottom of the totem pole. We want to make sure that they have the resources necessary, too. And the quality of life that maybe we enjoy a little closer to the 347. So having that strategic plan is a big deal. Being able to move those projects forward, inviting economic development, inviting educational institutions, those types of things into our city will be key in making those dreams happen. Thank you for the question, Mayor.
Thank you. And that concludes round 2 at this point.
Thank you.
And, yep. Council members, what is your preference? Vice Mayor would like to go into E-session. Councilmember Learman, seconded. All in favor? Aye. Aye. We'll be right back.
Hello.
Can you hear us, Bob?
Hello. Yes, I can.
All right. So at this point, we would like both candidates who are exceptional to stand up, and let's give them a hand. At this point, we're going to go in the exact same order, and each council member, vice mayor, and mayor will vote for their top candidate.
Councilmember Learman,
Eric Gettle.
Councilmember Marsh,
Bill Robertson.
Councilmember Vitiello,
Gentlemen, I wish you both could be sitting here, but that means I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I'm going to have to go with Eric Gettle.
Councilmember Wade,
Eric Gettle.
Vice Mayor Manfredi,
This is a hard decision, but that's what we're paid this enormous amount of money to do. We make these hard decisions every single day. And I know it's a life-changing decision for two gentlemen that are sitting out there. My choice is Bill.
Mayor Smith.
Yes, you don't have to reiterate it. All of that you are sitting out there, have followed the process, you see how good these candidates are. And it is a very hard decision. I hope that whoever in all of the candidates don't win, I see you, and I'll be there to help mentor you, all of you, in terms of running in the next election. So I'd love to see that. My vote goes to Eric Gettle. Given that, Mr. Gettle, council member elect, or not, council member appoint, you will be sworn in at the top of the city council meeting on September 20th, which is a week from today, and you will immediately start to take action. And so, just as you mentioned in your words, you better be prepared. All right, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Session is closed. Thank you.
Good job, Jim.
Thank you.